Lorcana, and I'm with Luxury Gaming, and I'm here with...
SSG Gaming. My name is Hector. My teammate Danny, and our other teammate Kylie.
Okay, and how did we do today?
All three of us made at least, both of them made top 32, and I finished top 16.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's amazing. What deck colors did we play?
We played green steel. I know everybody hates it, but we played green steel.
I'm one of those haters.
Yeah, but it's a really good deck. It has if you play it well and if it draws well, it's just unstoppable.
Okay, let's see it.
We played. We almost had the same list, only one card difference at the end. I decided to make one last change just out the spur of the moment.
But obviously, did you a little bit?
Yeah, it worked. It worked, but it wasn't like that big of a change. So we started two hidden coves. This is standard. Oh, good to go.
I'll edit it. Don't worry.
Okay. Two hidden coves. You want me to talk about the cards?
Yep.
Or?
Yes. I'll ask questions in between.
Okay, so two hidden coves for Diablo. This is pretty much, I think, standard for the list nowadays.
Do me a favor, face them towards the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, knowledge is power, right? You got to see your opponent's hand to see like your different play lines.
Yeah, some people don't like to play this, but he just the one card. It sucks to like draw him in the late game, but like early game, he does there's so many combos with him that can like break the game for you that you have to play it. I did 3 little Robin Hoods. Usually people do 4. I like 3 because I just added like a bigger top end because I felt like late games, if you draw too many of these, it just doesn't do anything for you. And then we usually send it. You mulligan it away. You keep this guy, but this sometimes, unless you have the shift, you send it away, right? It's just there. If you open up with it, you open up with it. Every other time, you either ink it or send it away. You don't.
And how many times did you think you actually shifted into the Robin Hood?
Not many. I usually don't keep it unless it depends on your hand. If your hand is like really bad, right, and or you have a Bucky already and you open up with this and Bucky, maybe you could keep it so you could go for the shift line. But it just I feel like I'd rather mulligan for the for the craziness of the deck, which is why you wanna get the deck going.
You shifted 3 times. Wow, that's awesome.
Other than these
For
3.
how many matches you played, though, it's not that many, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I shifted that a lot. I probably shifted like 10, 12 times.
The Robin Hood?
I barely shifted that one.
Oh, you play 4 little ones.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Yeah, so the difference, they were playing 4, and I cut this to 3 for another discard spell, just because when I did this at championships, I tested it a lot, and it was falling, like a lot of the times where you're top decking or it falls short, like towards the end. Like in my top 16 match, the board was wiped, right? And then I started drawing, I drew one of this, while he was drawing like the top end of the deck, and that's how, it's automatic loss when that happens. Obviously, after that, 4 Buckies. The card explains itself. It's just too good, right? On turn 2, sometimes you even go multiple of them. You go turn 2, turn 3, or you could, the deck has enough combos that you could do on turn 3, play a second one, or turn 4, and then shift on the same turn. Like, it makes the game unplayable once you have multiples of these in play. I put 2 Babooms. So the standard lists are usually playing 2 Grab Your Sword. So I tested Grab Your Sword, and I felt like in the mirror match, it's just like a win more card, right? Like it only works like at a specific window. And then also when you shift Robin Hood, you can sing Grab Your Sword, but it didn't happen often enough for you to get like a crazy value out of it. So I went with this. It's inkable and it's more immediate. On turn 2, I could pop something. Yeah, it worked out. Like for example, against Red Purple, like turn 2, if you don't have a play, and they have the Flynn that gains lore, you could kill it. Like little examples like that. 3 sudden chills. The deck plays 2, but I cut a little Robin Hood to put a 3rd one, just because for the control matchups, I feel like this card, just to finish off the remaining other hand. For Ursula's, this card is just against any deck that you open up with this. You look at their hand, you get information, and you pitch their key pieces, and it just wins you the game pretty much.
It's a key card in the mirror and a key card in any blue matchup.
Yeah, against any.
Do you play this card before you play the Bucky?
It depends on the scenario, right? So like if I were to go turn 1 Diablo, and I look at their hand, they don't have if their hand is not as threatening, then I'll develop Bucky, and then I'll hold this for like the key turn. For example, against like blue steel or red blue, like you hold it into the key turns where they like overextend, we're like ramping, and then you snipe their whole new world or the main card. So it depends, yeah, but it helps tremendously against almost every matchup. For Diablo, just this card, you don't even have to explain it. If they don't kill it, as soon as he comes out, he's already getting automatic value. So one of the best cards in the game. Any green deck, you got to play 4, right? 3 Ursula. I usually play 4, but I cut one just to make space for a top end that you'll see after, like a bigger top end, because I felt against like more mid-rangey deck like blue steel, like red blue and things like that. When you're falling short at the end of the game, you need like higher stack creatures that can like secure you the win or control the board more. So I felt like the deck is tight on space, so I cut one of these because the 3-drop slot is kind of like hard. You always want to do Diablo, or you could do Aladdin, which will discard a card. So
very situational card.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it does like remove a lot of cards.
No,
You
it's
can
of
sing it
course
twice,
like
so
in the mirror match. This is a good card to keep. Like if you play this card and it survives one turn, like
it did its job.
Yeah. Like I had one of the matchups in top 32. I on 3 I played this. I looked at their hand with Ursula. Right, they had no songs. Played this on 3, and then every turn I just double song, clear the board, and it just by turn 5 he picked it up because I can't play any creatures. Right. 4 strength or raging fire. Just you need the kill spells. That's all this deck wins.
A question now.
Yeah.
Did you find that you guys were going wide with this deck so that you were able to kill a lot of characters?
Yeah.
Or
So
was it more like a few
I mean that's how this deck works, right? You go a little wide. It depends on the match. Like sometimes, like you go wide until you have answers to like the board wipes or the clears. But until then, the wider you go, like the harder it is for them, right? And then you go wide while singing this to clear their little creatures, and they just can't kill your main guys.
As an example, there was a game I had against Blue Steel where I had to like pass 2 turns just to develop enough creatures to double sing with Ursula strength to kill 2 big units. So it has its value for sure.
Yeah, this Ursula, if it survives, it's
like you're sacrificing 2 turns to be able to kill it.
To
So,
get
yeah.
it too.
Or if they or you leave it like face up, right? Like this, you never attack with it. You leave it there for a couple turns, and it's threatening. Like if they have to think twice before developing like 2 creatures, because if something comes down, like the other kill spell, like let the storm rage on. If that stings twice, it's
Or sudden chill.
you're usually winning. Or with sudden chill. That's why I upped it, because like in the control matchups, like red blue or blue steel, 1 sudden chill, like and you pitch your hand.
If you don't see Bucky and you see the Ursula on a sudden chill, you can always play Ursula, sing sudden chill. It's basically like you just played Bucky and played 2 units to discard 2 cards.
Yeah. 3 Aladdin. This is standard. Aladdin, I think, is just here. He's a Floodborn. Like he has little shenanigans where I did one game where I dropped it. I had double Bucky. I go Aladdin, right? Pitch 2 cards. Then you pitch a Cove to shift him on top. That's another 2 cards. But he's just here because he's 3/3 and he's a Floodborn. So on turn 3, if you don't have the Ursula or the Diablo, he discards a card. So this card, that is Storm Rage on.
It's a staple.
Yeah, it's a staple in any steel deck. I think
You
just
can draw with it.
it cycles.
Especially with Ursula.
Ursula sings it twice. You draw 2 cards, kill something. It's
Exactly.
That's the MVP where you can shift the Diablo, kill something.
shift Diablo on turn 2 and then sing this to kill their little Diablo, and then it
Or
puts
the
you like
Robin.
It's
puts
almost
you.
like sometimes you have to be patient with this deck and it pays off in the long run.
Yeah, there's a lot of
You're not gonna quest, you're just gonna develop, and then you're gonna wada boom, bada bang.
yeah. Everyone says, oh yeah, if I would be playing this deck, I would be winning all the time. But that's not it, right? Because if not, top 64 will be all of the same deck. So it still takes like if you draw the crazy line, it's you win for free. But then there's times that when you don't see the Bucky or the Diablo, you have to play the game like really. It becomes
Slow it down.
complicated.
Strategically.
You
Yeah.
have to slow it down.
4 Flynn Rider, just because.
MVP in the mirror.
Yeah, MVP in the mirror. Like when we're out of cards, he's an evasive that could check Diablo, right? He'll kill it for free, survive, and then he's questing for a lot. And in some of these games, this deck, when you pitch their hand, it feels nice. But then if all your creatures quest for like 1, maybe 2, so you need to speed up the game sometimes.
And now you guys did not want to play the Flynn Rider that's not evasive, that's like the 2-drop to shift into that?
The reason why we cut, I mean, the early stages of the deck, it has the 1-drop, but I don't want to play too many 1-drops because they're useless after like the first few turns, right? Like just like Diablo, if after first you play him because he has so many combos, but usually after the first few turns, he's useless. So what happens is late game when you're both in a tough position that you're trying to win, and then you start top decking this or the 1/3 or the Robin Hood, and they're dropping bigger creatures. It just doesn't really. So
That thing you can also say it's a singer if you have to.
yeah, so this guy, like if you're pitching their hand, this guy's questing for 4 and they can't kill it. And at worst, I've had games where they have too many cards in hand, and he just sings. So he's just there just to sing and clear creatures, and he kills the Diablo for free, and it's just.
And he's protected from Let the Storm Rage On and Strength. He's 3 health.
With this Flynn Rider, because it's evasive, did you guys think about the 3-drop purple that's a rush, Peter Pan?
Oh, Peter Pan's Shadow.
Were we thinking about that when we played this card, or was it not really a thought?
It was more for Bucky.
It was for Bucky?
Yeah, so like the red purple list nowadays, I don't think they're playing like the 4-cost Peter Pan. Now they shifted to the 3-cost Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Because you could play it a turn earlier, but he's a 2/3, right? So he's not gonna run over this like just by itself.
It runs over Diablo, or sometimes when you're playing that matchup, people tend to quest on turn 3. They quest with Bucky because they know that their only rush character is the Fox. But you need to have something on board. But now people play that specifically because they can drop it and swing into the Bucky for free and kill it. Catch him out by surprise.
So this, there was only one game where this screwed me. Like in top 16, I drew all 3 of them. Like, so I had no ink, and it screwed me. But other than that, like there was games where you're trying to race and you play back-to-back these and you end the game in 2 turns. So the deck needs more lore questing, because you clear their hand, but then if you're questing for 1 or 2 here, and then they start dropping like bombs that clears your board, then you fall short.
They'll be like 6 or 10 before we even really start going.
Yeah.
So we have to close that gap, just because if they wipe us and then they like reestablish, if we don't get big quests in, then they can just come back.
Yeah. Other than that, over this, 2 Zeus. This card is just singable. Obviously, like the Flynn Rider can sing it. You need like a removal to like some of their big creatures. It kills a lot of like in the mirror match. It kills like their big creatures, and you just start winning the game from there. So this is a song that I think is needed.
How many uninkables do you guys play?
13.
13.
Yeah.
Seems to be the number we're seeing. 13.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that were playing 15, but you see, like I had again in by turn 2 with 13 uninkables. By turn 2, I had 6 uninkables in hand, and I passed for 2 turns. So it's scary to run that crazy amount of uninkables. Yeah, this helps against locations too, right? You sing it for against the locations, so because sometimes the locations are a problem. So that helps.
Boom it and then juice it,
yeah.
And the castle's gone.
Yep.
And then something else with Boom, even if it doesn't do anything, at worst, it's inkable, and it's also an action that you can pitch for Diablo to shift, right? So if it's useless, you could just pitch it that 1 turn. Yeah.
Love it.
2 Jafar. We need more Floodborns in the deck, so
Right.
he's not bad. If you develop, sometimes he gets you a couple free draws. This with Cove could kill a lot of things.
How many Floodborns do you guys play?
I think I have 22. The norm is between 21 and 23.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, so we needed something else, so we put him in. Before it was 3, but I cut 1 to put another Flynn Rider because you need more kills. Now the top end, 2 Bruno, that's pretty standard. Maybe you could up it up to 3. This helps against like the really big.
I've seen some people play for it, yeah.
Against the really big creatures that you can't handle, right? When they have no hand, this is like an instant discard. So it's like another removal spell for the deck.
A situation that you could do too is if you're playing in the mirror and they shift up like Robin Hood first, you have to pitch a card because the Bucky's already there. On your turn, you could shift up your Robin Hood and then sing Bruno and bounce both of the characters back.
Ooh, yeah.
So it slows the momentum.
I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. For Robin Hood, just you need the big questers at the end of the game to close out the game. This card, if you shift it, is great. If you don't, when you slap it on curve, if Bucky discards a card, he's a 3/6 that just kills creatures, right? While you're gaining lore. So he's attacking directly while killing creatures. If he dies, you draw a card.
Almost unkillable in the cold.
Yeah, it's good. 4 Beasts, this card just because you need the card draw, right? Like a lot of this deck, like by the time you get to the late game, you don't have cards, so this could help you keep the engine going. That's just pretty standard.
Quest with the beast or just let it rock and draw some cards?
It depends. Like those are some of the plays like where the players like differentiate, right? Like a lot of people, they'll sit back on the beast, like, hey, I'll play 2 beasts and I'll just sit here to draw the extra cards to try to win the game, right? But this quest for 2, so if at worst sometimes you have to quest with it, right? And if they trade their creatures into it, that's great because you clear their board while you're winning.
It comes down to how far you are in war count. If you're like at 15, 14, you're like, I'm turning this side.
No, even then, I've done it way before just because it puts so much pressure. They have to deal with it. It's either you let me draw the card or you waste your guys to die while my beast, and he still survive and he's still questing.
So he's a 5, and then also he would get resist once he has it, I believe.
No resist.
Plus 4.
Yeah.
You're thinking the other card.
Then you can check like a lot of things.
Yeah, so if exactly, he's so you gotta, of course, like when you play him for the first time, maybe not, depends on the board state. But if you're like ahead, you quest with everything. Even you quest with the Bucky. Some people don't like questing with the Bucky. Like you bait their attacks into the Bucky, but the Bucky still could quest from it. Like a lot of people just, I have Bucky, I've just let it sit here, and your opponent has no hand, right? And they can just be questing extra alert. And sometimes you lose the game because you finish like a 17, 18, and the little extra Bucky pings or this can win you the game.
Well, it's almost like sometimes you have to sacrifice the Bucky to win.
Yeah, of course.
They're technically using their one card, which they could have quested to kill that Bucky.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do in their mind.
You can also use it as bait sometimes to assure that something else that you hold more value doesn't die. So exactly. So
like
I've used Bucky as bait as well. Like for example, like for this next card, I've had Tinkerbell in hand, right? And they have one card in hand, or I'm like really far ahead, and I'll quest to the Bucky to like bait out their attacks in the Bucky, so my Tinkerbell can just kill the board, and then I just kill for free, right? So sometimes like I'm telling you, like against these control decks, if you don't quest sometimes, like you lose the game at 17, 18, 19, and it feels so bad. The last card in the deck, Tinkerbell, is because she's really good. She's a Floodborn, so she'll pitch for Bucky. She wipes the board against any deck that's not control. If you have her, it prevents people from attacking because I'll just get a 2-for-1, like right, kill, clear your board, and then it just sits here. And at worst, you quest for 2, right? That's why you need it. Doesn't die to Medusa because it's 4, so it gives you the extra lore to win the game that you need, like right there at the end.
Robin Hood can't do anything to it.
Yeah.
And now, do you guys have any social medias you guys want to shout out?
Go ahead. Oh, SSG Gaming, our sponsor. Really cool people.
Southside Supply.
Yeah. Southside Supply, that's their clothing line, and then just the SSG people. They believed in us. They sponsored us. They brought us here. Look, we did great on our first tournament, and we're not gonna let them down. We're gonna keep bringing the gold home. We fell short this time, but we'll be coming back for it.
Are coming next time.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.